In a welcoming judgment by the Supreme Court of India, it has said that the right to menstrual health is actually a fundamental right for the menstruating women in our country. Hello students, welcome to Drishti IAS. My name is Saloni Nandkyoliar, and in this session we'll look at the judgment of the Apex Court, and we'll also see the directives that Supreme Court has given to the schools in India. So let's talk about this judgment. So this judgment came in as a response to a writ petition that was filed, and the Supreme Court has said that the right to menstrual health and access to menstrual hygiene management or MHM measures in all the education institutions is a part of a fundamental right. Which fundamental right? Article 21 of the Constitution, right to life with dignity. So this has been recognized as a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution. It also went ahead and made some bold statements like dignity cannot be reduced to an abstract ideal. It must find expression in conditions that enable individuals to live without humiliation, exclusion, or avoidable suffering. So we know that menstrual hygiene, lack of menstrual hygiene is a major challenge in the educational institutions of the country, and it leads to a lot of issues. We'll discuss those issues also, but it's a good thing that the Supreme Court has recognized this as a fundamental right under Article 21, and it has also gone ahead and given some directives to all the schools in India. All the schools in India, whether they belong to all the states or the union territories, whether they are government run, whether they are privately managed, does not matter where the funding comes from. It does not matter. All the schools in all the states and UTs of India have to take care of menstrual hygiene, which means that they'll have to give access to these menstruating women, to the menstruating girls in their educational institutions. They'll have to give them access to biodegradable sanitary pads. So all these schools in the country will have to have these sanitary vending machines, preferably sanitary vending machines or other means also, where basically sanitary pads, oxo-biodegradable are not fully biodegradable, but they are still better than the conventional plastic sanitary napkins, which cause a lot of environmental pollution. So all these schools will have to take care of this access, that they give access to oxo-biodegradable sanitary napkins. And they must also have a fully functional and gender segregated toilets. All the schools in the states and UTs must have fully functional and gender segregated toilets, so that the humiliation or any taboo that the women or the girls have to face, they do not go through that sort of humiliation or stereotyping, etc. They have access to proper fully functional toilets, and within those toilets it is preferable to have those sanitary napkin vending machines from where they can get access to these oxo biodegradable napkins. And if this does not happen, if the schools do not take care of these directives, then what is going to happen? They can also be de-recognized. These schools can be de-recognized. The recognition can be taken away when these audits happen. The recognition can be taken away if they are seen not adhering to these directives. So it is a great move by the Supreme Court of India. It's a great judgment that has been passed, so that we sensitize people, we sensitize both the male and the female population, that a lot of harassment happens and a lot of issues happen because of these things. And a very important concept of period poverty also comes into picture over here. So we'll discuss all that in detail, but these are the directives that have been given by the Supreme Court. Now let's talk about period poverty, and before we do that, very quickly I'll tell you that there is this new course, that is the Studio GS Foundation live online course. Now this is a foundation course, meaning you will have a complete coverage of your prelims and main syllabus, and the price is only 24,999 rupees, and you can even get an additional discount on this fee if you use a coupon code, which is SALONI, Saloni, all in capital letters only, and you will be able to get the maximum discount for yourself. You have 3 different mediums to choose from: English, Hindi and English. Don't wait, the admissions are already open. If you have any more queries, you can call us at this number 87501 87501. And you can also download the Drishti Learning app and enroll into this course. Now let's get back to our topic, and we were talking about the concept of period poverty. What is period poverty? Period poverty is a situation when menstruating girls do not have access to the menstrual hygiene measures. They don't have access to sanitary pads, they don't have access to proper toilets, they don't have access to menstrual hygiene, and they have to face a lot of humiliation and harassment, because of which they have to make a very unfair choice between their right to dignity and the right to education. They either have to choose between living with dignity or getting access to education, which is a very unfair choice to make. So this is the concept of period poverty, where girls who do not have access to menstrual hygiene measures, they have to take certain other measures. They have to drop out of schools. There's absenteeism, and then there's a proper dropout from schools. All these things happen, and that is the concept of period poverty. So it hinders these menstruating girls from exercising the right to education with dignity equal to that of their male counterparts, as well as to the female counterparts who can afford sanitary products. So who can afford sanitary products, they'll still continue to go to school, but those who cannot afford those products, they'll either stop going to school or they'll adopt to unsafe measures. Both of them are basically not favorable for any girl child. That is why the Supreme Court has given this directive that free access to oxo biodegradable sanitary napkins will have to be provided in all the schools. Nothing is going to be charged for those napkins, so that we can overcome the problem of period poverty. And there was also a report by an NGO a couple of years ago. If we talk about some data over here, I was mentioning that there's a lot of absenteeism and a dropout from schools. So if we look at some data, there was a report that came in a couple of years ago which said that annually 23 million girls drop out from these educational institutions because of period poverty, because they do not have access to all these products and they do not want to face humiliation, harassment, taboo, etc. And that is why they drop out of school. So this is a very big number, 23 million. This is a very big number. That is how grave the situation is, and that is why it was needed to be addressed this urgently and this appropriately. So this is being declared a fundamental right, and the girls will also have access to free oxo biodegradable sanitary napkins. And please note, it is not just about girls, sensitizing the girls or creating awareness among them. It also went ahead, the Supreme Court also went ahead and talked about the role of men in menstruation. What is the role of men in menstruation? So we don't just have to sensitize the girls or make them aware of their rights. We also have to sensitize the male population, the male teachers, so that they're aware of the biological identity of menstruation and they do not engage in invasive questioning or any harassment, etc. And they are able to create a safe environment for their female counterparts, for their female students. So that is why men also have a very big role to play over here in breaking this humiliation stereotype, this harassment and everything, the cycle that goes on, which causes a lot of trauma to women. Men also have a very big role that they can play in here. They can change the entire game if they change their vision, if they change their mindset, and they offer the support that the female counterparts, the female students need at that time. This is what the Supreme Court also highlighted, that men also have a role to play in menstruation. They can help in creating awareness and they can always extend their support and not resort to harassing or any invasive activities. So this is the entire issue. This is the entire judgment. We talked about how grave the situation is because the dropout rates are so high. But the good news is that this is now a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution, and all the schools, irrespective of their funding, whether they are government, whether they are private, it does not matter. They will have to provide free access to menstrual hygiene measures like oxo biodegradable sanitary napkins, or even spare innerwear or spare uniforms, anything, or any kind of education awareness that has to be raised. So all these things will be provided by these education institutions, and if they do not provide that, it will lead to their derecognition. So that was all for this video. I hope you were able to understand everything that we discussed over here. Now, as always, we'll look at a practice question for prelims. With reference to the recent Supreme Court judgment on menstrual health in India, consider the following statements. 1. The Supreme Court held that the right to menstrual health is a part of the fundamental right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. 2. The court directed that all schools, whether private or government, must provide free sanitary napkins and functional gender-segregated toilets. Choose the correct statements. A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, or D. neither 1 nor 2. Please attempt this question and provide your answers in the comment section. And if you liked the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Drishti IAS English YouTube channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.